All right, I've got to be honest with you. For years, I was convinced my iPad was the undisputed king of tablets. I told myself, and probably a few of you, that nothing else could even come close. But then, for this channel, I started getting my hands on all these new Android tablets, and let's just say my perspective has completely shifted. It turns out you can get a screen that blows the iPad away more power than you'll probably ever need, and features Apple charges a fortune for, all for a fraction of the cost. And I'm not talking about those slow, clunky tablets you find in a bargain bin. I'm talking about premium, slick devices that are so good, they have no business being this affordable. Today I'm going to show you why I'm second-guessing everything, and why your next tablet probably shouldn't be an iPad. Section 1. The Contenders. More for less. Let's just jump right into what your money actually gets you. Over in Apple's world, the standard iPad still rocks a disappointingly slow 60Hz screen. If you want that buttery smooth 120Hz display, you have to shell out for the iPad Air, which starts at around $600 or even $800 for the bigger one. Now look at what's happening on the Android side. For under $400, you can grab a tablet like the Xiaomi Pad 8. It comes with a stunning super sharp 144Hz display that makes the base iPad's screen look ancient. The scrolling is smoother, movies look better, and it just feels premium. Then you've got something like the new OnePlus Pad 3. This is the iPad Air competitor. It's rumored to pack one of the fastest processors on the market, the Snapdragon 8 Elite, and a massive, vibrant, high refresh rate screen that rivals displays on tablets costing way more. It delivers a true flagship experience for a good chunk less than a comparable iPad Air. And at the very top, you have Samsung's latest Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, a total powerhouse with a gorgeous, huge screen that goes toe-to-toe with the most expensive iPad Pro. Section 2. The Screen, where the value shines. The biggest and most immediate difference you'll notice is the display. Like I said, Apple keeps its 120Hz Pro Motion screens for the pricey Pro and Air models. Meanwhile, Android makers are putting these incredible high refresh rate screens on almost everything. A 144Hz screen on a tablet like the Xiaomi Pad 8 makes every single swipe, scroll, and tap feel unbelievably fluid. When you put it side by side with a base iPad, the difference is just staggering. The smoothness on the Android tablet makes the iPad feel sluggish and dated. You're simply getting a more premium, more enjoyable viewing experience for significantly less money. Section 3. Performance, more than just benchmarks. Now let's talk about power. Apple's M-series chips are no doubt absolute monsters on paper. The benchmark scores are top of the charts, but that got me thinking, how much of that raw power do any of us actually use? For browsing the web, watching Netflix, and even playing demanding games, high-end Android chips like the top-tier Snapdragons are more than powerful enough. In the real world, for most of the things you do every day, the performance gap is honestly barely noticeable. Android tablets like the OnePlus Pad 3 deliver that flagship-level snappy experience, handling intense gaming and multitasking without breaking a sweat, all while saving you a serious chunk of change. The raw power of a top-end iPad is incredible, but for most people it's expensive overkill. By the way, if you're finding this useful and you're tired of overpaying for tech, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm always hunting for the best value out there, and I'd love for you to join me. Section 4. The killer features, storage, and flexibility. This is where Android tablets really start to pull away with features that just make life easier. Let's talk about storage. Apple's storage tax is the stuff of legends. Upgrading from the base storage on an iPad can cost a small fortune. This is where many Android tablets have a secret weapon, the micro SD card slot. While it's true that some of the priciest Android flagships have sadly started following Apple by removing it, You can still find it on tons of mid-range and budget models. The ability to add hundreds of gigabytes of storage for the price of a nice dinner is an absolute game changer. And then there's the software. Look, iPadOS is polished, but Android offers a level of freedom and customization that Apple just won't. Samsung's DeX mode, for example, transforms your tablet into a shockingly capable desktop computer, which is amazing for getting real work done. Section 5, the downsides. Let's be honest. Now it's not all sunshine and roses for Android. The iPad's biggest trump card is still its software ecosystem. iPadOS has a massive library of apps that are perfectly designed for a tablet screen. And Apple's commitment to 5 to 7 years of software updates is still the gold standard. Android's tablet app library has gotten so much better, but you do still occasionally run into apps that feel like stretched-out phone apps. And while companies like Samsung now promise up to 7 years of updates on their high-end devices, the update policy across the entire Android world just isn't as consistent as Apple's. So, what's the takeaway here? For years, the iPad was the easy, default choice for a reason, but the game has completely changed. The value you can get from an Android tablet today is simply staggering. They shouldn't be this cheap, but the fierce competition in the Android space forces prices down, and that competition is a huge win for our wallets. For the same price as a basic iPad, you can get an Android tablet with a screen that is light years ahead and performance that is more than enough for 99% of what you'll ever do. If you're a serious creative professional, or you're just happily locked into the Apple ecosystem, the iPad Pro is still a fantastic, though very expensive tool. But for everyone else, for the students, for people who commute, for movie lovers, for casual gamers, your money simply goes so much further with Android. You get a better screen, more practical features, and you can save a ton of money. And that's a deal that's getting way too good to ignore. But hey, that's just my take after living with these devices. Which tablet would you go for? Is the polish of iPadOS worth the extra cash to you? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching.